Welcome back. Today, we are diving into a topic that's really been on my mind lately, and it's this idea of rethinking laziness and understanding that sometimes what looks like a lack of movement is actually part of a deeper journey towards self-discovery and growth. So grab your favorite cozy blanket, settle in, and let's get real.
You are listening to That Big CEO Energy, where we talk all things business, life, marriage, and push you to a new edge of discovering what that big CEO energy means for you. Listen, I understand that we have barriers that we carry from when we were once employees, and those have impacted us as we continue to build our businesses. I'm here to walk alongside you and give you encouragement through interviews with friends and other women in business who have broken down those barriers and paved their own way. Tune in with me as we uncover some of the unconscious things that we do that keep us from building that big CEO energy we've always dreamed about. Let's dive in.
All right, let's kick things off with a reality check. Show of hands. How many of us are feeling guilty for not always being in motion? Whether it's physically, emotionally, in your business, in your family. In our hustle culture, there's this pressure, right, to constantly be doing, achieving, and moving forward. But here's the thing. Sometimes taking a step back isn't about being lazy. It's about giving ourselves the space to get to know who we are, what we want, and where we're truly headed. I had this epiphany, I guess you could call it, when I was sitting in the Cup of Joy room a few weeks ago in Clubhouse, and I was talking about how I'm an all or nothing person. I either do all the things or I do none of the things. And when I look at kind of the transition of my life that is happening right now, I had to get real. And I had to understand that this phase of my life is calling me to slow down. And I was wrestling with it because I'm such a go, go, go person that I deemed it as being lazy. And I had to ask myself a few questions. What if this so-called laziness is actually a crucial part of my journey, right? What if it's our mind and body's way of telling me to slow down, to reflect, to see the painted picture, and to realign with my true self? And here's a few reasons on why what looks like inaction might be something much more profound. When we're constantly on the go, right, we rarely have time to reflect on our experiences. And during this transition, during this pivotal time of my life where I'm becoming a mom with a little more freedom, I didn't really give myself the time and the grace to be able to reflect on the past 18 years. And the past 18 years of the experience of being a mom, the past experience of the choices and the desires that I had. And so taking a pause really allowed me to dive deep into self-reflection. And it's really in these moments of stillness that I gained the clarity that I needed to make meaningful decisions for myself moving forward. And so instead of seeing it as laziness, I viewed it as an opportunity to really connect with my inner self. And what I was craving is mental and emotional rest. And our brains need this downtime just as much as our bodies do, right? When we are doing continuous action without rest leads to burnout, stress, and mental fatigue. It just does. And so when we take breaks and allow ourselves to rest, we're actually caring for our mental and emotional well-being. And it's almost like I had to hit myself over the head with a hammer in order for me to get it. Consciously, I knew that. I knew that that's what I needed. But subconsciously, it was like, well, you're still not going to the gym. Well, I had an arm injury. You guys, I'm still working through it. How could I possibly go to the gym when I can't even lift a bag of dog food? Okay. So this rest came at the perfect time. because it allowed me to get creative. It allowed me to start problem solving. And overall, honestly, it gave me so much more happiness. The creativity and the problem solving were huge for me because, as I had mentioned in the previous episode, and I'll link it in the show notes, of creating this 4-day work week, I needed that so that I could go to PT. I needed that so that my arm had rest. But what I discovered is I was so much happier working 4 days a week and having the 3-day weekend to be able to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. That gave me happiness, and it still gives me happiness. But do you ever notice that your best ideas come when you're not actively working, right? That's what's called the incubation effect. When we step back and we allow our minds to wander, when we give our subconscious the chance to process information and generate new ideas, what looks like laziness might actually be your brain working behind the scenes, preparing for the next breakthrough, right? And I'm going through sort of this rebrand, and I would not be able to have mental capacity to be able to do that if I didn't give myself enough days of the week to be able to digest. And so I mentioned it briefly in the episode before, and you can go listen to kind of the deep dive about it. But I was saying that I have 2 longer days and 2 shorter days. And that helps my brain kind of get in the mode of being intentional with my work during the time that I have, which has been amazing. And to be honest, I've gotten so much more done. But sometimes we get so caught up in the hustle that we lose sight of what our true goals and our passions are. And when we take a step back, it gives us a chance to reassess our direction. And so the question for you is, are you pursuing what truly matters to you? Or are you just staying busy for the sake of it? Right? This pause gave me the chance to help realign myself with my authentic goals and who I am as a person and who I am changing and becoming to be. Now, talking about this concept is one thing, but embracing it is a whole other value. And when we start to incorporate it in our lives without feeling guilty or without feeling like you're unproductive, I had to redefine what productivity meant to me. And I discovered that it's not just about ticking off the tasks on the to-do list. It's also about my personal growth, my mental well-being, and the long-term fulfillment that I have for myself. And I recognize that rest and reflection are productive in their own right. They are available and much needed in between all of the personal growth, my mental well-being, tasking my to-do list, all of those things. Those 2 things are the most important things that I have in order to be productive. And I could only do that when I made downtime a non-negotiable part of my schedule. Whether I have a few minutes in the morning, whether that's going on a walk, whether that's having my 3-day work week, right? But planning my moments, just like I would any other important task, as downtime. I'm ensuring that I'm giving myself the space and the opportunity to recharge. But I had to also ensure that I was being mindful. And when I was practicing mindfulness, it helped me to be able to stay present, but also appreciate the value of the downtime that I had, right? So instead of worrying about what I wasn't doing, focusing on being fully present in the moment was my main objective. And when I began to use this time to tune into my thoughts and my feelings, right, and my desires, I was able to set intentions with what I was going to do next. And so when I set an intention to be able to use this actual downtime for self-reflection, rest, and this creative incubation period, it helped to shift my mindset from feeling lazy to really feeling purposeful about what I was using my downtime for. And all of that, though, had to come with embracing self-compassion. I had to start to be kind to myself. I had to start to say to myself that it's okay to slow down, that it's okay to take a break. Because self-compassion is the key to breaking the cycle of guilt associated with rest. I'm going to say that again. Self-compassion is the key to breaking the cycle of guilt associated with rest. Remember that we are on this unique journey. It's not a journey that we're living with everybody else. It's a unique journey that is to you, and so your need to honor yourself during the rest is part of that. In this process, had to start to reframe the narrative that I was telling myself. And I had to understand that what seemed like laziness on the surface was actually a vital part of the journey that I'm in right now. And the journey that I'm on right now is the journey to self-discovery and personal growth. And I had to really embrace my need for rest and reflection. Listen, we're not just recharging, right? But instead we're paving the way for greater clarity, creativity, and fulfillment. If this episode resonated with you, would you share it with someone who is having a hard time feeling like they're being lazy? And as always, if you love this episode, don't forget to leave a review. I am so honored to be able to put out content and really share my journey. If you are a mama that is in this transition of high school to college, and you are trying to figure out who you are in the middle of all of this, it's okay to rest. It's okay to find out what that is for you.
Thanks for tuning into the show today. If you heard something that helped you, I would love it if you would leave a review and share it with your friends. This helps more people just like you become inspired to move the needle of their big CEO energy into a positive direction. If you would like to learn more about how I can help you streamline and position your business for growth or lead your business as a CEO, feel free to jump into the show notes with all of the links to find me. And don't forget to head over to Instagram so we can be pals.